A major crackdown on asylum rules could soon push thousands closer to deportation, and temporary residents could get caught in the crossfire. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss important updates. Today, we are revealing one of the biggest political clashes shaping Canada's immigration future. The Conservative Party of Canada has proposed major amendments to Bill C12. Their goal is to tighten asylum rules, reduce access to federal benefits, and increase the speed at which non-citizens with serious legal issues are removed from the country. These proposals are already sparking intense national debate about fairness, public safety, and humanitarian protection. If these changes advance, thousands of people could be affected. And later in this video, we reveal a hidden rule that could affect students and work permit holders, even if they are following every condition of their visa. Most people don't know this is coming. Failed asylum claimants, students who shift into the refugee system, and temporary residents who violate their status may face stricter enforcement, fewer appeals, and faster deportation. This is not yet law, but the pressure is real, and the political shift could determine how Canada treats migrants for years to come. Let's break down what's at stake. What exactly is Bill C12? Bill C12 is a federal government proposal to strengthen border and immigration enforcement. The law would modernize how removals are handled and improve tracking of individuals who lose their legal right to stay in Canada. It also aims to speed up asylum processing and reduce security vulnerabilities at border points. However, the Conservative Party of Canada has made it clear that they believe Bill C12 needs deeper reforms. With asylum claims continuing to rise and backlogs stretching for months or years, they argue that the current bill leaves too many opportunities for abuse. Their position is that the system is overwhelmed, public trust is declining, and tougher enforcement is necessary. They want Bill C12 to serve as the foundation for a major crackdown on what they see as an overloaded refugee system. The conservative push for stricter asylum rules. Conservatives argue that the refugee system currently creates incentives for people who are not truly fleeing persecution. Their proposed amendments include removing access to federal social benefits for failed claimants, rejecting claims when the person travels back to their home country during the process, and automatically denying appeals when an individual has lied or omitted key information. They are particularly focused on people who enter through safe countries such as the United States or European nations before coming to Canada to seek asylum. The conservative message is that refugee protections must go only to those who urgently need them, not to individuals seeking better economic prospects. They believe tough rules are essential to maintain the integrity of the system. Foreign students under the microscope. One of the most controversial conservative ideas involves Canada's post-secondary schools. Colleges and universities could face responsibility if foreign students, who they accept later, file false asylum claims. The concern, according to critics of the current system, is that some institutions prioritize tuition revenue over thorough vetting, leaving taxpayers to cover the costs of failed refugee claims. This proposed measure would push schools to strengthen their screening practices and cooperate more closely with Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. While some believe this will prevent exploitation of the student visa stream, others warn it could create discrimination and reduce opportunities for students genuinely in need of protection. Faster deportations for certain criminal offenses. One of the most intense political talking points focuses on individuals convicted of serious crimes after arriving in Canada. The Conservative Party of Canada argues that anyone who commits an indictable offense should be removed from the country quickly. They frame this as an issue of fairness and public safety. Evidence they cite includes cases where non-citizens receive lighter sentences, so deportation rules are not triggered, and widely publicized concerns that hundreds of individuals who were ordered removed can no longer be located by enforcement officials. Under the proposed changes, more offenses could trigger removal, and appeals would be tightly limited. Critics warn that some people may face danger if returned home. Supporters counter that Canadian citizenship and resident privileges must be respected and protected. A major shift in burden of proof. Currently, Canadian authorities must show that an asylum seeker delayed their claim without justification. Conservatives want to reverse that rule. Under their proposal, claimants would be required to prove they acted quickly, provided accurate information, and disclosed the complete basis for their claim from the moment they arrived. Supporters of this change argue that truthful stories do not need revisions, while advocates for refugees warn that genuine claimants often escape traumatic situations without documentation, legal guidance, or the ability to explain clearly on arrival. How this standard is interpreted may decide whether fairness or enforcement becomes the dominant priority. More transparency and public reporting. Conservatives want Canadians to know how much the asylum system costs, how many individuals receive taxpayer-funded services, and how effectively deportation and enforcement actions are carried out. They also want improved public accountability over how members of the Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada are chosen. Supporters believe this will restore trust in immigration governance. Critics worry that publishing detailed statistics could lead to misinformation, stereotyping, and a negative shift in public attitudes toward vulnerable people. What this could mean for you. Anyone connected to immigration should pay attention. If your claim is still being processed, scrutiny over every update may increase. Failed asylum claimants may lose more support and face faster removal. People studying, working, or living in Canada temporarily could face tougher consequences for any compliance issues. This shift would also impact industries that depend heavily on temporary foreign workers and permanent residents, including healthcare, agriculture, transportation, construction, and hospitality. Employers may need to prepare for sudden staffing challenges if enforcement becomes more aggressive. For families, advisors, and those pursuing long-term status, uncertainty may grow as new rules and interpretations are debated. Though nothing has legally changed yet, the political environment has clearly shifted towards stronger enforcement. Why this is happening now? Asylum claims have risen dramatically. Shelters in major cities are overwhelmed. Processing delays frustrate claimants and taxpayers alike, and public trust in immigration enforcement has weakened. Supporters of the conservative proposals say Canada must act to restore accountability. The current government argues that being humane must remain at the center of policy decisions. This divide is now at the heart of Canada's immigration debate, and neither side appears willing to step back. Thanks for staying with us this far. We appreciate your time and hope you're finding this information valuable. Hidden risk and major opportunity. A major risk is unfolding beneath the surface. This debate is not just about asylum seekers. It is about who gets to stay in Canada long-term and how Canada balances humanitarian obligations with public safety and affordability pressures. If the Conservative Party of Canada forms government in the future, the amendments they want to attach to Bill C12 could set the stage for much broader enforcement reforms. That could include stricter rules for temporary residents seeking permanent residency, a reduced number of humanitarian approvals, stronger authority for the Canada Border Services Agency, and tougher compliance requirements for schools and employers. There may even be an increase in removals for individuals with lesser criminal convictions. Some analysts believe this could shift Canada toward a system with more limited pathways to permanent status and more priority placed on workers whose skills directly match economic needs. Right now, people who are already in the system have time to adjust. Compliance with all visa conditions is essential. Submitting complete and truthful applications from the start will become even more important. Anyone considering asylum as a backup plan should understand the heightened risk moving forward. Staying informed is the best protection. Those who pay attention now can prepare for major changes instead of being caught off guard. The most important thing to remember is that these proposals are not yet law, but the political momentum behind them is already shaping Canada's future immigration direction. Faster enforcement, reduced benefits for certain claimants, and higher expectations for honesty are themes that will influence every part of the system. Students, workers, families, and refugees all have a stake in what happens next. Policies decided in the coming months could impact millions of people and change the immigration landscape for years ahead. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and comment below with your questions. We reply to as many as we can. Stay alert, stay informed, and protect your status. See you in the next video.